Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to a podcast of Joy and GOZOtv, where we are going and gozo what? The weather's got you down. The brakes in your car, they don't even work anymore. You're going to too many graduations. You're looking at your wallet, at your waistline, wondering, bro, what is going on? Don't worry. My dear Gozo friend, come into the live stream. Let's spend the next few minutes talking about grace, talking about joy, talking about talking about Gozo today. Here from the Trig Studios in GOZOlandia, Long Beach, California. My name is David Trig, and I'm so excited to be here with you Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. más o menos Pacific. Today, it's a noon special. Today is Friday, and it's almost noon, 12 o'clock here in California. Actually, it's already past 12. Excited to be here with you, talking about siete cosas, 7 things that are hilarious that I've noticed at graduations. Maybe like you, like me, you've been to a lot of graduations, or if you haven't been to them, you definitely have seen plenty of pictures, right? Online, everyone is posting their favorite pictures of their little boys and girls with their beautiful haircuts. I'm older, so my kids, my little ones are already going to college. Wait a minute, I'm not old. It's just that everyone's having kids later in life now, right? When we were young, we had children and we were like in our 20s. But we have the joy now to hopefully be an example to you guys. How are you, GOZOlandia? Tell me, how are you doing? Let's see here. How are you, GOZOtaza? I'm doing pretty good. Let's remember that every time that we do something awesome, we ring our Gozo bell. That's for the truth that we sometimes wrap. Look at my nice Gozo flowers. Do you like them? If you have any flowers, please send them my way. Also remember that you're a campeón. We have here our Gozo trophy to remind you that though there is pain in the night, what? Gozo comes in the morning, because remember that el gozo del Señor, mi fortaleza es. So here we are, as I said, bilingual, every Monday through Friday, about 8 a.m. Pacific. It's been kind of an odd schedule. Leave me in the comments below. Here's your question of the day. What do you like most or least about graduations? Now, if you haven't been to one, then lucky you, right? Let's see, where's my laugh track? Lucky you, because man, they seem to last forever, right? So I want to say hello before I forget here to all of my dear Gozo friends on this beautiful day. I want to say hello to Emperatriz. Welcome, Emperatriz, to Christian Lopez. Nice to have you guys here on the GOZOtv chat room. Always thankful. By the way, I have a new feature. Let me see if it works here. Look at this. Let's see. Hey, look at that. There you are. So if you show your comments and if you post something, I'm going to show you here on the screen so that everyone can be noticed, and that most of all, you can get a little bit of a shout out there on GOZOlandia on this beautiful day, talking about, as I said, all the things that matter most to you. So if you have a question regarding anything dealing with graduations, anything dealing with personal power, spiritual power, my passion, as you know, is to help you live a life of gozo. Gozo means joy, obviously. In spite of failures, in spite of those times when we get low. But let me get into these 7 funny things. I think they're funny, at least, that I've definitely noticed in the last couple of weeks. I've gone to, let's see. First, I went to, of course, I'm very proud papi, to our daughter's high school graduation yesterday. So if you've seen on my Facebook page, let me see if I can bring it up here. You've seen definitely all of the pictures. So let's see here. We have lots of pictures. Thank you guys for all the comments that you're leaving us. Thank you so much. So we have a lot of comments here from, look at these beautiful pictures. Ah, my muñequita. I know, I'm such a proud parent. There's Tom, love them. There's my mommy. There's also my beautiful wife. My goodness, the love of my life. Look at that, man. I have no reason to be triste, right? When I look at the joy of God, and there's my family, and then, wow, look at that. That's from like 2010. But sticking to nowadays, what a joy it is, right? To have your family, to go to someone's graduation, your primo, your cousin, maybe it's not even your own child, but you've been to someone's graduation, right? So anyway, let's get right into it. 7 things that I think are just hilarious about graduation. Number 1, numero uno, we don't like the sun. Nobody likes the sun. Now, here's something I've noticed, and I thought, okay, leave me a comment below why you think people don't like the sun. I thought that we that are, of lighter, of browner skin, black don't crack, right? I'm trying for my black not to crack. I thought we were okay with the sun, but I'm noticing that the brown people, they're just as afraid of the sun as those of lighter skin. Now I understand for those of you who have that lighter complexion, skin cancer, and you get red and you don't have that olive base, blah, blah, blah. But what about the rest of you? Why are you running away from the sun? I was at this graduation the other day because I also went to our beautiful son's promotion from 8th grade to 9th grade. So we were outside, I'm sure you, like you, and everyone's looking for the shade, right? And it wasn't even that hot. It was warm. But I mean, it was just warm. But have you seen how everyone just runs from the sun? Now I want to take you, speaking of comments, to one of a comment that really helped me understand this whole dilemma of why people run from the sun. And so I want to take you to this very smart man, friend of mine, that really left me an awesome comment and insight, because I posted these 7 things on my Facebook page. If you haven't seen it, please make sure you go to my to this page as well as to my other page, David Trig TV. So check this out. See if I can bring it up. So right here, let me see if I can bring it up. Check this out here. This awesome comment from my friend Ricardo. Maybe you can see it there. It's kind of small, but let me just see if you can maybe see it there a little better. So check this out. Check this out. Ricardo says, Latinos were made for tropical habitats, rainforest, and sandy beaches. We established our culture in Southern America from Mexico City all the way down to Tierra de Fuego, which is in Argentina, of course. We don't like the direct sun because where we come from, there are trees and clouds. Haha, that's why we're brown. Aztec for life. Hey, hey, creo. And I, of course, liked it. And I said down below, bro drops mic. So, man, how awesome is that comment, right? I totally agree. What do you think? Is that why we run away from the sun? Is that why we don't like the sun? It's just funny how everyone and their cousin and their primos and everybody runs from the sun. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, these are 7 funny things that I've noticed at graduations. Number 2 is that moms cry and dads take pictures. Have you noticed how that happens? The moms tear up and the dads, because they don't know what to do with their tears. Not that they don't feel, but they take pictures, right? Now, everyone takes pictures these days. Moms, dads, grandmas, kids, everyone, obviously, with phones and stuff. But that seems to be the common thing, right? Is that moms get more emotional. Maybe you're a mom here. Did you feel emotional? Leave me a comment below. What was that moment when you felt the most emotional? And maybe you're a dad, maybe you're the husband, you were the primo, you're the tío, you just went and supported someone in your family. Did you get emotional? Did you maybe remember when you graduated from whatever, 8th grade or from high school or maybe college? And I think for my wife and I, my dear lovely wife, it hit us at different times. For me, for her, it hit her yesterday when Canela, she graduated from Millikan High School here, a high school in the area. And she walked out. I mean, there were like, 1,800 plus students graduating with her. And she walked out and we could sort of see her. We were texting back and forth. Blah, blah, blah. We finally noticed her as she was walking on the field here at Vet Stadium. And for Rochelle, when she saw her come out and just kind of connect with her, it all hit her. Just remembering when Canela was a baby, when she was born. And then thinking now, 18 years later, here she is graduating from high school, a señorita, someone who, as you know, we're very proud of. For me, it hit me this morning. We were sitting here on the couch every morning. My wife and I have 20, 30 minutes of what we call couch time, just to pray and talk and catch up on life, to connect. And as I was going through the last couple of days, it hit me that she's going to be leaving the house. That even though, I know she's not moving to another part of the country, that she's going to be at a dorm, here at Biola University here in the area. And it's only 30 minutes away, but it just hit me that she won't be here on Saturday mornings for breakfast, or when I come home, I won't see her in the mornings leaving and going. If you've been through this, all the routines of empty nesting in the making. And then I couldn't help but then think about our second daughter, and she's going to probably go somewhere also off campus or off out of the area because she is an adventurous type. And then we were thinking, maybe David will stay in the area because he seems to be more of a homebody. So moms cry, dads take pictures. Let me know, what do you think in the comments below? By the way, I want to say hello to Gianni Gracia as well. So welcome, my dear friend. So what do you think are those special moments, or those, what was the most emotional moment for you this last week? Number 3, we all need to lose about 10 pounds. Have you noticed how when you're out there and you start looking around at everyone, of course you think, you know, man, I'm looking good. You get your dress ready, you put on your tie, and then you begin to criticize, right? Or notice how everyone seems a little bit heavier than last time you saw them. Here's what I've noticed. We all need to lose about 10 pounds, right? It's one of those funny things that whenever we're in public, maybe it's just me because I'm so vain, but when you're in public environments, you begin to look at people's weight, right? Is that just me? Come on now. And you don't want to criticize and you don't want to think anything, but you begin to wonder, like, man, I hope I don't look that bad. But the irony is that probably all of us need to lose a little weight, right? All of us have gained some pounds since last time, since last year, since the last event, school event, whatever it may be. So I always notice that. Number 3. Number 4, I haven't seen any of these people in about 10 years. That's the other thing that I always notice. Who are these people? It's so crazy. I mean, you realize, okay, I recognize that parent. Oh yeah, I know that guy. Well, maybe that little boy now, he's got a mustache, or that little girl, you know, she's all grown up. But for the most part, you're thinking, who are these people? Because I'm sure, as you've noticed, if you have teens, the older that we get, it seems like the less we connect with the school, right? When they're little, we all go to all their things and we do that whole social parent thing. I know the moms are more into it than the guys. But the older that our children get, you begin to lose that connection. And so for us now, being there with our 8th grader, and then certainly with our 12th grader, we're like, who are these people? I mean, plus when you're at Vet Stadium and you have 2,000 or 3,000 other people, you have no idea who anybody is. So I guess just to say, it's good, especially when they're young, for you as a mom, as a dad, to get to know parents, because you do develop stories and you develop a lot of history. Because here's something that happened just last night, just yesterday. One of Isabella's, who's our second child, she's almost 16, she's 15 now. When she developed some friendships when she was a little girl, she still has those friendships. And now they're, you know, both of these girls are 16, and so one of them was over last night. And I think that's one of the best parts of growing up together, is seeing them continue to stay together as they go into high school and college and all the rest. So that is number 4. Who are these people? Number 5. So by the way, if you're tuning in late here to GOZOtv, we're going over the 7 funny observations at graduations. We've been through a couple of them just this week. Maybe you've been through them last month, a few weeks ago. If you're out of the country, obviously you're not going through these things. But for those of us here in the States, this is graduation season. And so number 5, only teens look good. The rest of us are just plain old. That's another thing, man, that I noticed. I think, man, everyone here kind of looks old. Oh, except for that. Well, you know, of course the teens look like they're 8, right? Even though there might be 19 or 18 or obviously in their 20s, they're no longer teens. But you realize that apart from them, all of us are just simply old. I know we all think we still look good, and I know some of you do, but it's so hilarious how time just passes us by, and you begin to try to stop the clock, right? At least I'm still trying, but I'm realizing that time has come and gone. I can no longer stop the clock. Now it's just a matter of hanging on and celebrating your children and celebrating all of life, and kind of beginning to realize what else matters besides our youthfulness or our awesome look. So Funny how that happens, but hey, at least our teens and other people's children and your younger family members, at least they still look the part and they can wear all those fancy outfits and they can fit into those awesome jeans and wear the cool fashions. I used to be quite the accessorizing kind of person. I used to wear all these things. Thank you for the likes, by the way, and for the thumbs. I used to wear all of these funny things, or not funny things, but accessories when I was even in my late 30s. I still thought I could hang in there. By the way, let me say this. If you're in your 40s, especially as a male, like, dude, give it up, okay? It doesn't look good anymore to wear all the tight stuff, all the skinny stuff, all the cool stuff. I'm not just talking for me, okay? I see still a lot of 40, 45-year-olds, early 40s, even some late 40s trying way too hard to stay young. I remember going through that, and you eventually have to just let it go. Just give it up and just act your age, and most of all, look your age, right? Okay, so that's number 5. Number 6, here we go. When your child or teen gets up, you feel so proud. That just doesn't change. Whether you went through graduations this week, this month, or maybe if you're in another part of the world, you went through that last December, or you're going to go through that later this year. You know what I'm talking about, right? When your child gets up, it doesn't matter what their room looks like. Nothing matters. All that matters is your child. Doesn't matter how old they are even, or if their room is a mess, or what grades they got, or anything. Nothing matters. In that moment, when they get up, you feel so proud. And the emotions come out, and I know that happened for us. When our children got up there, even though obviously they're older now, they're teens, there's nothing like it. And when you have little ones, maybe you have a 9-year-old or a 12-year-old, or maybe you have really small ones, 2, 3, 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds, it doesn't matter how old they are, right? And maybe you I had another friend that was posting on her Facebook page how I think her children are maybe 12, 13, and she was at a friend's graduation, high school graduation, the actual event. And so she was saying how she was already tearing up just thinking of what it'll be like when her kids graduate from high school. So it's a very emotional moment. There's no way around it. And you feel so proud, and you really feel so thankful. Nothing matters, right? It doesn't matter where they've been, what they're doing. Definitely doesn't matter what's going on in their lives. It's just simply, all that matters is to simply just, you love them. You're proud of them, right? So let me go back here to the comment cam just to see what's going on. So again, welcome to Marcia, to Marcos, and my sister Marcia. Definitely look your age, I know, right? Look and act your age. Those people that are hanging on to their youth, dude, let it go. Okay, here we go. That's number 6. Number 7, when we get home, after everything's over and we've eaten way too much food, we all come home, take off our nice clothes, and put on our chanclas. That's the best part of the whole thing, right? You know, you feel so proud, and you put on your Sunday best and everything, blah, blah, blah. You eat way too much food. You go wait in line for like 3 hours. We went to, I think, like 3 places trying to get in at noon, and then last night. And I mean, it was just a mess out there. So many people. But finally you get home, and what do? You throw everything off, and you just put on your PJs and your chanclas, and you take off your clothes, and you're just like done with all that mess. You go back on your phone to check on your pictures and see how many likes and see how many comments you got, and just to see what's going on out there. And you spend way too long on your phone just connecting and being proud of maybe other people's children, etc. But it's so hilarious, right? When we're done, we finally just say, man, I'm done. I'm toast. I can't stand this stuff anymore. And so that is hilarious. And then number 8, this is the last. Did I say 7? Well, I have 8. So no, this is the 8th one. We'll call this the bonus one, okay? So if you are tuning in late, I'm going over 7 funny things that I've noticed at graduations. Maybe you can relate. Number 1 is nobody likes the sun. Not even brown people. What's up with that? Number 2, moms cry, dads take pictures. Although, as I said, now everybody takes pictures. Number 3, we all need to lose about 10 pounds. We all need to lose about 10 pounds, maybe a little more for some of us. Number 4, who are these people? Right? You look around like, who are you? Number 5, only teens look good. The rest of us just are old. Stop trying so hard. Number 6, when your child or teen gets up, you feel so proud no matter what. Number 7, when we get home after a long day and eating way too much food and partying all day long, we get home, take off our clothes and put on our chanclas. And then lastly, this is the last one that I think is so true and so hilarious, and that is the mic never works. What is up with the microphones, right? Man, those microphones, they never work. What's up? It seems like nobody knows how to turn on a microphone or turn it down, or things are too loud, or you can't hear the kids, or feedback, ooh, you know, all that stuff. It's so hilarious, but it's so true, especially in elementary schools or middle schools, maybe even some high schools. Although the one that we went to yesterday for our high schooler, the sound was pretty good, although there were some moments. But it seems like most elementary and middle schools, they just, you know, they don't have any real tech person on staff. It's just the janitor or just the principal or whoever, the receptionist, trying to do her best or his best. So yesterday we were at David's graduation. He's going, as I said, into 9th grade now. And so they had the valedictorians up there and they were all saying their thing, and it was so cute. But guess what? No one could hear them. Like, no one could hear them because the microphone was just too low. And plus, you know how kids are, right? They don't speak into the microphone. They're like this, talking like this. They don't know, and so nobody's helping them. And we're all like, oh, it's like, what, 300 people out there. We just want to hear what they're saying. I'm sure it's so inspiring and so moving, but nobody can hear them. Ni modo, ¿qué vamos a hacer? That's how it always is at graduation. So I hope that you've enjoyed these 7 funny things that I've noticed at graduations, and a bonus one that I gave you. Tell me which of these you relate to the most. Give me a comment below. Let me know here. I'm going to go check really quick here on Periscope. Let me take you to my comment cam, see if it works here. All right, there we go. Let me see here what's going on here on this beautiful day. Here, let's check out Facebook Live. There we go. So nice to have you there, guys. Thank you for your comments on Restream, on Producer. Let me check out YouTube Live. A little bit of a... That guy's going really fast there, huh? That's funny. Let's see here. Let's check out the comment cam, this one, and then let me check here on, let's see, on, this is on Twitter, which I love, which is basically, it's called Periscope, I'm sorry, but it's through Twitter. So if you are on Twitter, by the way, let's see. So I think that's it, actually. So good. Okay, so we have a few people there on Periscope that seem to be tuning in. By the way, if you are on Periscope, make sure that you go down below to the on the bottom 3 here. There are 3 buttons, and make sure that you press that button so that you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Of course, you know, press the subscribe button here on YouTube, on Facebook Live. Make sure that at the end of this stream that you press notifications on so that you can get this amazing content every time that I'm on, and you can catch me live. So I wonder, what are your most funny moments, or the most maybe touching moments of the graduations? What do you like most? I know that for most of us, we go, and of course, I mean, it's seeing our children, right? We feel so proud. We feel so thankful. We feel so enamored. But, you know, I often think, I wonder how, I guess maybe this is a little bit of a serious moment. I wonder how these children and these youth are going to how are they going to survive or make it in life? I sometimes worry that there are so many young people that don't have the means or the support or even the mental capacity, mental health, I meant, you know, meaning maybe they're dealing with mental health issues is what I meant. Of course they have the capacity, but maybe they're dealing with something emotional is my point. Maybe they don't have that support at home or maybe even professionally. I sometimes wonder and I worry, I mean, the statistics are not that great, is that most high schoolers that maybe I saw yesterday here in the area, they're not going to go to college. What is it, a third of them, maybe half, and more are going to college, but out of those that go, half of them drop out or don't finish. And it's not for bad reasons, but it could be that they don't have that support, or it could be that they find their way elsewhere, right? Life happens. As my mom and I were talking, Graduating from high school is quite the scary event because now you don't have that built-in support of having to go to school and all that routine that goes with high school. Once you're out of high school, now you're quite on your own. You're an adult legally, although you're mentally and developmentally, you're still very young. You're still a child, 18, 19. I mean, remember when we were 19 or 20? My goodness, even 26, I think I didn't really feel like an adult till maybe my 30s. And yet here you are as an 18-year-old, and this life is so fast and furious. I think that we need to support our teens, and we need to be thankful for those who are doing well. But it's not just about getting them into college, right? Or even getting them into high school. It's about supporting them at home. So maybe I want to ask you, leave me a comment. How do you support your teens or your children? What are the things that you do to help them stay the course? Because after the party's over, after the balloons are gone, after everyone goes back home, a lot of our teens struggle when they are 19 and 20. They stray away from maybe their family, their values. They experiment. I mean, that is an age, right, to experiment with drugs, alcohol, with sex, with secularism, with independence, and some of these things are not bad. I mean, obviously, some of them are, but I wonder, what are the things that you do in your own life, in your own maybe community, if you have a church or just with your family? What do you do to help some of your young people stay connected to you, to God, to their faith? Being that, as I said, this is not that age, it's not the easiest time. I mean, in our church, that is when traditionally, and really this is a problem across the board, that 18 to 24-year-old age is when people leave, quote, the nest. Now, maybe for the Latino culture, I've noticed that we tend to stay together, right? Maybe the Asian culture, African American, I don't know, maybe the white culture as well. It seems like people are more independent regardless of ethnic background. And I think independence is a good thing. But I know for me, I try to be very open, but I must say my dream is to open a restaurant so that all my 3 teens, along with my wife, we can all work there and be together for the rest of our lives. And their kids can work there. And now, why do I say that? Because I want to have that influence upon their lives, because I know they're still so young. And just because they're 18 and even if they have a college degree, it doesn't mean that they're ready to think on their own. And yet, I know there's that balance, or I don't know if the balance is the right word. I know there's that other side of things. Let me see on the camera. He's going to turn back on here in a second. So there we go, I'm back. So it doesn't mean that they don't need their own lives, of course. And maybe you can say that Latino culture, or maybe dads or men are more possessive, or we want our kids to be near us all the time. I am that way, no doubt about it. I don't know if you're not that way, but and I don't want them here so they can serve me, of course. I want them here to continue to build into them. But what my wife says, and I think it's true, is that you have to believe that you've built into them for 18 years. And you have to also realize that you're not them. They are not you. Maybe you made mistakes, or maybe you were amazing, and you expect the same from them. Well, they're going to make their own decisions. And I think the biggest maybe reflection is to realize that eventually it is up to God to guide them. It's up to them to decide to follow God, right? It is up to them to say, I'm going to put you first, God, in my life. I'm going to put my career, or making good decisions, or here it is. Failure or mistakes is a part of growing up, is a part of falling down and getting back up. And so if you have a family, a dad, a mom, a grandma, abuelita, I was raised by my grandmother, who is constantly worrying or thinking that your job is to never let your child fall or trip or make a mistake, then you're really going to be a miserable person, because that just will never happen, right? Your kids will fall. And if you are older, as I said, we have teens, but if you have been through this already, and now your children are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever it may be, they have their own families, then you know what I'm talking about, right? It's up to them. You can't prevent people from making their own choices. I mean, it's impossible. And so what I've heard from many people that are older, from my own grandparents and from my in-laws and a lot of mentors, is that you have to trust them to God. You have to pray. You have to say, God, I surrender them to you. Now, am I there? Of course not. I mean, how can I be there? I haven't gone through it yet. Nobody can be there without going through there. But as we go through these experiences of losing a child even, I mean, I have friends that have lost their kids to different problems. That's when you begin to trust God and trust your children over to God, over to the Lord. And you can't do that. You can practice when they're young. You can practice giving them up. But really, when they're younger, the whole plan or the whole system is that they need you. Literally, when they're 1 and 5 and 10 even, maybe even through their teens, they need you to feed them, to guide them, to give them money, blah, blah, blah. And I know that sometimes that never stops. I know that some of you would say, well, that never stops. And I think that we can't get bitter, right? One of the things I admire most about my mom and dad and grandparents is that even when we've gone our own separate ways as children, meaning we made our own lives, obviously, I've never heard them become bitter. And I hear a lot of people, unfortunately, that are bitter at life or at their kids. And they talk negatively about their children, saying, oh, look at what they did. And they become pretty cynical. And I can understand that. I haven't been through that. So I'm certainly more willing to understand others once I've been through it myself. But I guess really at the end of the day, we all have to learn to trust God, right? What else can we do? To trust our teens to God, even if we think, and I used to think this way, not anymore, that we're the perfect parents. I mean, life quickly gets rid of that, right? You realize quickly that there ain't nothing you can do to prevent your kids from making their own choices. They're going to make their own mistakes. They're going to make their own choices. I did. You did. All of us did. And the consequences are real. God's grace is real. God's goodness is real. If you walk away from God, you will suffer the consequences. There's just no way around that. You will live a life of destruction. If you honor God in your life, and I'm talking about knowing Jesus as your friend, as your Savior, as your King, as the one that you put first in your life, regardless of your life, your past, then things will go well. I mean, that's just what we see over and over and over again, 1,000 times over, 1,000 years over and over. So I guess maybe that's my encouragement to you if you're now in your 20s and 30s and 40s, and even if you're later in life, 60s, 70s, whatever, that you put God first so that it will go well with you. If you are a parent of a young person or a grandparent, that's the same thing. My advice is put God first so that when they leave and you have that empty nest, or when they're young and they're crying, or maybe now they're adults and they're making mistakes, or maybe you're super proud of them, or maybe it's both, right? It's never one thing. That whatever they're going through and whatever you are going through, really, it's about the grace of God. And so let me go back just really quick before I wrap up here to my Facebook page and see what's going on here. Let's see if we can see some of the comments. Let's check it out here. So let's see. Let me just say hello to some of the people that are here and some of the nice comments that everybody's writing. Oh, look at the pictures that I was showing you earlier, going kind of faster, but just to scroll through some of these things, just to thank you for all the people that are saying nice things, commenting and saying nice things. Thank you guys for all the great things that everyone is just commenting and saying. And I really appreciate all of you guys' nice comments and all of your kindness. So, well, that wraps up today's show. Literally, it is time to go. It is now almost 1 p.m. So thank you guys for being here for these last few minutes. Remember to always subscribe to this channel. The way you do that is you simply just press notifications on. I want to just say one quick goodbye to everyone who's here, to Judy, to Roger, again, to Marcia, Rosie, to Marcos, to Gianni, to Christian, to Emperatriz. Thank you guys for your likes, for your comments. Please be sure to share this video with your friends. Make sure that you comment below and that you share this out. Let's get a couple of shares going so that everyone out there can smile, can enjoy these tips and these 7 funny things that we all notice at graduations. And most of all, that maybe those last few minutes of just talking about raising children and trusting God can be of use to somebody else. Remember always to ask me a question. If you have a question, a thought, a concern about your kids or about life in general, that my desire, especially here in this show, is that you would ask me questions that we can interact and we can get a good thing going here on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Periscope Live. Thanks again, everybody, and I will see you next time. Adios.